Okay, here is the ranked board. All right, we're here with Captain of the Assassins, Mark Saye. Mark, welcome.
Thank you. Good to
Um,
be a captain.
yeah, happy to have you on board. So we have in front of us here the lineup and defensive alignment that you submitted to us for what your team is going to look like for this coming year. Do you want to give us a little breakdown of it?
Yeah, it's a little raw. Things are still subject to change. Looking, based on how week one turns out. But I'm on the mound. We got Jack Mosseri at shortstop, which everyone, we all knew that was happening. And then let's go infield first. So I have Richie Ayala at second base, who played shortstop before in the league, and he could handle that position. So my idea is that he's going to have a lot of range at second base, and I might not even have to go five infield. So with Jack and Richie up the middle, I think they could handle the middle of the infield.
Yeah.
Now, third base, this guy Daron says he could play short, so I'm just assuming he could play third, but that's the wild card here. Let's see how he turns out. And then first base, I have a couple guys that could really go there. It could be Jimmy Assis, Maselton, Ovi, but I think I like Maselton there. I think he's a lefty. So I like that lefty at first base. I think that'll work well. And then going to the outfield, I think, outfield looks great. Aldi in center. We all know what he's capable of out there. Howie Hoffman in left. He's been, he played that position before with me, and he's more than capable of holding that down. And Manopla, who, he's been an outfielder in this league forever, and he's usually in left or center. So to have him in right, I think that's a real plus for us. Going over to catcher, we don't really have a solidified catcher, but I think I saw Ovi, on the position list, he put catcher as his secondary position. And Jack Mosseri also told me that he's okay playing catcher. I haven't spoke to him personally, but I think between him and Assis and even Sam Mystery, we're going to switch around and play with that position between catcher and then, the next slot, either for the next four outfielders or put him in the infield. One of those three guys.
Love it.
Okay. I guess we'll start on the defense then, and then we'll make our way to the lineup. But right off the bat, I like you on the mound. I think you're gonna throw tons of strikes. You have a sneaky fastball. I don't know if you have an off-speed pitch, but I know that, again, strike throwers, that's the most important thing on the mound. Your outfield, left and center, I like a lot. I'm not sure how Manopola is going to do in right. I remember that I had him in right a few seasons ago. He looked a little uncomfortable there. I had to end up moving him over to left just because, that the ball comes off the bat differently from righties to right field. So that may be something you find that might be a change later on, but center and left, Howie is a beast. Al is a great defender, and from recent seasons, Al has been raking. So I actually like the outfield a lot. The infield has got some question marks here, just because I've never seen them. So obviously the biggest one is Doron. Is this guy going to be a first-round pick? Is this guy going to be a 12th round pick?
We got to talk more about this guy.
Yeah, listen, I always do have, I don't know if Richie Ayala has the arm for third, but I think I could always, put him there in a worst case scenario. And then, figure out second. I think Masterton can play second base and put Assis at first, So it's a backup plan, but I'm going to roll with him in week one.
I think that the infield, obviously Jack Mosseri is awesome. There's not much to say there. He's going to be a top hitter in this league. He'll be a top shortstop in this league. Sammy Mystery and Jimmy Assis. I don't remember Jimmy Assis so well. Sammy, I know. I don't know how well he'll be at short center. Richie can play both sides of the field here for you, so that's a plus. Like you were saying, you could always move things around. But I'd say that the strength to me, just looking at it, is probably the outfield, just because I really like what you've done, at least bare minimum center to left. And if Albert can do right field, I know, like I said a few years ago, he was shaky, but it's been some time. Who knows now? Then your outfield could be really, really strong. But I think that's where I'm kind of at on the defense. I think that it has great upside. I think there are question marks. And I'm just curious to see how it shakes in the end, seeing what we have here in the end.
Yeah, I really think it's going to come down to Duran.
Yeah.
If he could play, if he has a good glove and he could lock down that position, then I think there's no holes in this defense.
Yeah, Doron's going to be an exciting one. So for those of you that don't know, Doron Yusuflale, who is the third baseman on the Assassins roster as of now. So Doron is a rookie. He's a new player who joined the league, and he doesn't have any references. So guys didn't know who he was, but he came in and he said, "I'm going to be the best player in your league. Bat me third or fourth." That's all he wrote. And then I kept talking to him, and he's just, I don't know, he's a vibe, and he's into it, and he really thinks he's going to be the best generally. I think he's about 30 years old, but he said, "Put me at shortstop or third base only, and I want number 2 like Jeter."
Oh, not
So that's
only
what he
that,
did.
Hammer, not only that, after I drafted him and we sent out the team chat, he private messaged me and said, "I am the best hitter in the league."
I love that. That's
So
awesome.
not only defensively, but
I can't
he's
wait.
got
For
the
this guy, man.
confidence.
I can't wait. That's honestly that I'm so excited just for this guy, man. But the squad looks great. The defense looks great. I mean, Howie Hoffman and Richie Ayala, that's 2 guys I'm also really excited to have back in the league. They used to play in BKS a couple of years ago, and they just rejoined this year. We're so glad to have them back.
Yeah, and even in the draft,
And Howie too.
in the draft, I was contemplating taking Howie in the second round, and I didn't think he was coming back to the third. I leaned Al D in the second because he's my close friend, but I'm happy that I got both of them.
Yeah, it seems like you got all your boys, all the guys you were looking to get, right?
Yeah, Manopa. I missed out on Jufa, but I picked Duran over him. So
all right, yeah, you get all the vibes with Duran, hopefully.
No, I think this vibe is I think this is going to be a good vibe team to be on. It seems like everybody's friends, so that's always the power of friendship. You never know.
Yeah.
On the other side of the ball, I just want to take a look at your lineup. Richie in the 1 spot, Howie in the 2, Jack Mosseri 3, Maselton, Manopla. I'm not going to try that last name. I'm sorry. Doran in the 6. You got River at 7, which is pretty. I would think that he would be the 1 spot.
So I prefer him to be the 1 spot, and he knows that, but he does not like batting first. For some reason, I don't know if it's a head game thing or I don't know what it is, but he performs better at particularly the number 7 spot. He told me 7 is my spot. I said, okay.
Softball is a superstitious game.
I told him to be ready. I said, if we need to make changes, we're going to 1. He said, no problem.
I just think that looking at the lineup, it just looks weird, but there's good hitters in here, just like not in the spot that I would put them. So
listen, you see Maselton that was picked in the 10th round, you would never think he's gonna bat 4th. But from what I'm hearing coming out of camp, this guy's a slugger.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try it out for the first game. If it doesn't work, we have other bats that could go there.
I hear it. I just think this is a hard team for me to even like grade it, just because there's so many question marks to me that I just don't know. Who's Eli Maselton? Is Doran going to be a guy? Why is Aldi batting 7? I'm not 100% sure who Jimmy Assis is. I'm really sorry about that. Sammy, I don't know. It's like I like the defense more than I like the lineup, just because to me that a guy who I never saw play before is batting 4. A guy who I never saw play before is batting 6. Like, it's just weird to me.
Yeah, so the only 2 people that I never saw play on the team is Daron and Ovi Michon. I don't know. I never seen Ovi play. Maybe I just didn't know his face, but
yeah, Ovi's been in the league for some years already.
Ovi's a good player.
He's all right. Yeah,
he's a good bat, good glove. He could hit.
Yeah, I'm
I've never
surprised
seen
you
him.
have my catcher because he's pretty speedy. He's a good outfielder.
Yeah, so I could always switch it up. I could put, if we're gonna go 4 outfield, I could put him out there and let Jimmy catch. If we're gonna go infield, I think Jimmy is a good short center fielder, so he could go there, and then Ovi will catch, depending on the matchups really and who's at bat.
Gotcha. Okay. So
This
I'm
team
just
is sneaky.
sorry.
This team is very sneaky. I like it. I think it's a very underrated team.
The more I look at it, I think the more I could like it. If you're right about Masselton and Doron, this team is dangerous. This team is going to be a tough one to beat. But until I know that for sure, I'm gonna go that on the defensive side, this is like a 7.5, just because again, there's a question mark at third base, which is an important position. I don't know how Manopla will play right field. I don't know, I just don't know how it's gonna actually end up looking because I don't. A lot of
I
things can
mean,
change.
I'll tell you this: third base is a very key position because if my fastball is hitting strikes, I'm not going to get a lot of fly balls. It's going to be on the ground, and it's going to go to Jack and their own.
Right.
So it's a big position for me, and that's going to be a key thing.
But if he is great, then this team is great.
Yes.
And I think that on the offensive side, I'm going to go very similar at 7 out of 10, just because again, if these guys are great, it's much higher than a 7. But if they're not great, it's lower than a 7. So I just kind of want to cover my bases here, keep it in the middle on a team where I'm just not 100% sure of what I'm really looking at.
Okay. I mean, I do think we have a little, a mix of speed and power. So I think, we'll stretch singles into doubles with Aldi, Richie, um, who else? Jack Mosseri, Howie. We have good bats.
Jack
The
Mosseri is your
bats
best hitter. That's for sure. And unless
are
Doron is
there.
your best hitter, but Jack Mosseri is definitely your best hitter.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Howie's a line drive rope hitter. Howie's a rope hitter. He doesn't hit not soft contact. That lefty swing is legit.
But how you know where he's going to hit it?
Yeah, I guess so. But listen, I put Manopla at 5 because he's the average hitter. So as long as the top 4 get on base, I think he's gonna have a lot of RBI opportunities this year, and we're banking on him to come through.
Yeah, I think this team has definitely it has a lot of upside potential. I think that even still, Howie's going to hit 500. I think Jack Mosseri will hit 500. And I'm just curious to see where it goes. I'm curious to
And
learn
Jack
more about
Jack
each
had a
team.
down year last year. If you look at his stats last year, they were much worse than they were the year before when we played together.
Slow to start, but then he
He was
picked it up
he
a
was an
lot.
MVP candidate 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, if he was an MVP candidate on the second half of last season, once he made that switch over,
Yeah, we know what Jack is.
he's awesome. Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he's a great player. I think if Jack can play to his caliber and Doron can play to at least partially to as high as he's claiming to be, I think you're a team to beat. Defense, I'm probably gonna have to agree with Morty, 7.5. I mean, I would give it more if I knew Doron, or it's hard to judge, but just based off of your pitching and you have a decent outfield, so 7.5 is a really decent score. I mean, we don't really give out 10s. The highest we've given is a 9. Other than that, offense. I mean, yeah, I like your offense. You have Jack. Jack's an MVP candidate every year, like we said. This guy Eliyahu Masselton, I've heard a lot of great things about. That's a real line drive, base hit every time kind of threat. That's another potential 500, 600 type of batting average guy.
And he goes opposite field, like those
Yeah.
videos that you sent us. He hits that opposite field gap.
Yeah, he sent a couple videos and he was spraying the ball all over the place. And like that's a good rookie to have. I'm excited to have rookies like this who can really play ball and put the ball anywhere out in the field. That's a good hitter. So that's a good steal for you. That's your 12th round pick, right? Or, I'm sorry, 11th round.
10th round, yeah. I traded up to get him.
That's phenomenal. And on top of the 3 outfielders, you also have Ovi who can play the outfield. You got good speed between Ovi, Richie, and River. That's great speed.
Good team.
Yeah, I think offense. I'm going to go 7.5. I think that's enough.
Morty, if Aldi was in the 1 slot, would it change your opinion on this order?
I think based on what I saw in LD, having him at 7 it just doesn't make any sense to me. The guy has power to left field. He's so fast. Any ball on the ground is a real threat to be a base hit. I don't know, just weird. It feels like a waste at 7.
I happen to agree with you. So this might not be the opening day lineup, but
Even if it is, you could always treat that first game or two as like a kind of see
yeah,
what we have.
that's what it's gonna be. But you know, my mindset when I drafted LD was he's my leadoff.
Right, of course. You took him in the second round.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Thank you guys.
All
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming
Looking
on.
forward.
And really excited to see your team out there, man.
Me too.
Yeah, we're looking
Let's
forward.
see where this goes.
All right. See
Thank you
soon.
guys. We'll see
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.